Okay, guess what, guys? We're not in Pen Tool 101 anymore. We're in oldtelephone.ai. I want to end this chapter. I'm going to try to do this at the end of every chapter, is give us something practical to put together. This class, to me, is primarily, this lesson series, is primarily a techniques class, but the logical side, okay? The logical side of using Adobe Illustrator. Let me show you how to use those tools and let you use your creativity to go to the next level. But I just, you got to do some creative stuff every once in a while. And showing you again, my kind of theme for this entire lesson series is taking simple stuff and making things more complicated. So we're going to make an old style telephone out of these parts. Now, the reason I already drew them, because it would take a couple of minutes to draw them, and they are just simple circles and rectangles. Basically, that's what they are. This one down here is a rounded rectangle. That's it, okay? So you draw all these parts. The whole idea of when you're working in Adobe Illustrator is to let your mind think through how complicated objects look so you can simplify them. So let's start by doing this. Let me pick up this guy right here. Now I'm going to take that guy and I'm going to put him right there. I'm going to take this guy and put him right in that other corner. And I'm going to take this guy and I'm going to put him right about there. Now I'm going to select these three, actually these two first, just those two at the top. I want to make sure that they are vertically okay, alignment-wise. So I can go to align right here. You have all these different alignment features. If I click here, no, I must have done that right. Didn't look like they moved. That's good. But I'm going to take these three now. I want to make sure this one is in the middle between these two. So with that selected, go back to align. And we do have an area for distribution. And I'm going to click this one. It did move just a little bit, so I wasn't perfect on that one. So I've got, well, that stuff there. Now we're going to go up to the word window on the pull-down menu and go down to one of my favorite panels, and that is Pathfinder. You know what I like about doing lessons like this? Is some people tell me I have a tendency to talk fast. I do. I understand. I get excited. I start talking faster. And it's a hard thing for me to just really slow down. That's, again, one of my flaws. But when you're doing something like this, the cool thing is you can always pause me. You can stop, get a cup of coffee, come back, rewind, whatever you want. Okay, what I want to do here is I want to take this object and use these to cut out these objects right here. Down here in Pathfinder, we have, of course, all these different ones. You got minus front, you've got unite, intersect, excludes. Down here, you've got divide, trim, merge, crop, outline, and minus back. Okay, watch what happens up there when I select these. Select them, Andy, select them. And click minus back right here. I don't know about you, but that's a cradle to my telly. Okay, we had a British physics teacher at university. And I think she came from London. And every time the phone would ring in our classroom, she would say, the telly is ringing. And then we had a television in there, too. And sometimes the principal would come on with announcements, and she would say, turn on the telly. So I guess, well, we all have our colloquialisms, don't we? Let's pick up this piece right here. Now, if we bring that up to about here, now let me do this. Let me select both of them and go into a line and make sure that they are aligned left to right. Did move it over a little, so good. I'm glad I did that. I want that right in the middle. Now, if we come down here on these options, again, we have a minus front. And I cut a hole. That's exactly what I wanted to do. So there, in a sense, is the cradle for our phone. If we want to, we could select it. Old-timey phones, we're talking back way back, were black. Okay, they were just black. So if I select this right here, that's the fill color. I want to call that the foreground color because I work in Photoshop a lot, but that's fill. And maybe make it dark, like here, like this black, or maybe up here, whatever. And there is our cradle. Now here's the phone itself. So let's go ahead and, actually, no, I think I can leave that there. What I want to do, well, actually, I want to make sure that it fits. So it would be something like this. It's not going to be in the cradle when we put this together, but they need to be that width, I would think. So let's go ahead and select both of those, go to align, and let's go ahead and align them this way. And they look like they're okay. Let's move them out of the way for the moment. Okay, let's come up here and select this piece, and let's put it right there. And again, let me go ahead and select everything like that and go to Align and make sure that it's in the middle by clicking here. Looks like it was. Okay. Now in our Pathfinder panel, click Unite. Okay. Let's pick this one up, and I'll tell you what, let me do a Control U. Now that is in Command U on a Mac, Control U in Windows. That is to turn on my smart guides. And let me go ahead and put this one right here so I know it's kind of right in the center. And I'll do the same thing with this one. I love that feature. Smart guides are really good, you know? Okay, that looks pretty good to me. Now, if I come to this one right here and select it, don't forget we have a what? We have a minus front. And I can do the same thing by selecting this one and say minus front. And we got those holes there, kind of the receiver and the microphone part. And let's go ahead and select that, I suppose, and make it black too. Now, let me tell you, I'm going to bring it over about like that, and let's give it a little bit of an angle. Okay, there's that. Now we need a couple of other things here, and this is where we're going to go a little bit ahead of ourselves, but I think you're going to like it. I have these two rounded rectangles here and here. I'm going to select both of them. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to the word Object. You have a tool for this, but you get more control if you use the pull-down menu. And go to Blend and select Make. Now watch what happens. Now there's a lot. There's way too many. But it made copies between them. If we go back up to the word Object and go down to Blend and select Blend Options, we can tell the computer that we want to change spacing, smooth color, specified steps, or specified distance. I want specified steps. And let's turn preview on so we can see it. Let's see what 20 does for us. Okay, we'll leave it at that. Now blend, what it does is it just makes copies between one and the other. That's all it does. All right, now let's click OK. We need a cord connecting here to here, and that's what that's going to be eventually. So let's pick up our pen tool. This was a chapter on the pen tool. And I'm going to come over to about here, and I'm going to click and say drag, and I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to click and drag. Let's not go too crazy here, I suppose. Let's go this way. Make it a kind of a gentle slope. Okay, now I don't need the fill, although that will go away. Let me do this though. Let me select it and click the default button right here. It does have a white fill. It doesn't matter though. Let's go ahead and take this, and this is the cool thing. I want this bent to look like a phone cord. So I select that, which is the path I made, and I select this with a shift click, and then I come up to the word Object, and I go down to Blend, but I say Replace Spine. We'll get more into this feature later. And we create something like that, but we're not done. Let's go back to the word Object and go down to Blend, go into Blend Options. Now, one of the options is to allow those lines that we made to follow the curvature. And if I click that on and turn the preview, as you can see, it begins bending it. Now, we could add more. Maybe a few more wouldn't be a bad idea, or maybe less. We do 25 maybe. Add some more in there. Click OK. Now, the cool thing is, we look at that and we go, well, it's actually not that bad. But if you come and pick up your direct selection tool and then come over to this and begin, you can actually change, move it, whatever you want to do. Actually, I kind of like that. It looks like it's kind of coiling in here, and it's kind of bending to fit into the phone right there. So I don't think we need to change anything. We have one more thing to do. We need little dots here to dial on. Now, they wouldn't actually be dots back then. It would be for your finger to stick into the little slot and actually make it go around to the number. So let's click here and select these guys right here, just those two. Go up to the word Object and blend them. Okay, let's go back up to the word Object and go into Blend again and go into Blend Options. Now, if I recall correctly, there were 10 for all the digits and a 0, right? So let's go in here and change specified steps, turn on the preview to 10. Just like that. Okay, so we got that. Close that out. We have this, and now that's what I want to put it on, because this basically is going to fit right in there like that, okay? Get it? So I select this, and then I click and shift-click on this. Got it? Come up to the word object, and then go down to blend and go into replace spine. You say, oh, they're on there. That's kind of cool. But they're not equal distance. Now, here's a trick if you ever do this. You got to remember it. Let me undo. Go back up to our scissors tool. Okay, I want you to get on that line and cut it anywhere you want. Doesn't matter where, but cut it. Now, when you cut it, it becomes an open path. You can't see it because I didn't move anything. I just cut it. That's all you have to do. Watch what happens now. Let's pick up our selection tool. We have that selected here. And shift-click down here. Go up to the word object and go down to blend and select replace spine and check it out. When it sees a cut, it will distribute the items from one end of the cut to the other, just like it did here. That was an open shape. That's why that worked. Now, if we come back into this one and select it and put it right up in here, we'll use our smart guides to help us out and stick it right there. And I don't know, there you go. An old-fashioned, old-timey telephone made with rectangles and circles. And, well, a little bit of help from Adobe Illustrator.